Hello guys, Genuine here of Genuine Gaming, and here is my Nioh 2 boss guide on how to beat Lady Osakabe in Nioh 2. Lady Osakabe is a massive yokai that has possessed the Golden Castle, making the environment itself the battlefield. The primary objective is to destroy their heads or their limbs, which are large, eye-tipped tentacles that hang over the roof where you fight. The core mechanic in this fight is to deplete the ki and health of the individual tentacles to stagger the main body. Once staggered, her large central eye or head will drop onto the roof, allowing you a short window to deal significant damage. The tentacles perform a mix of physical sweeps or slams, which can be blocked, and various elemental projectile attacks. The elemental attacks can inflict status ailments and are generally best dodged. The fight is split into sections, each requiring you to take down a set number of tentacles. The transition between sections, especially in the Dark Realm, is signaled by the main head collapsing onto the roof of your damaged window. Before the fight, I would suggest preparing your Dion Jin Sake, barrier talismans, and sacred water. Drink Daionjin sake immediately as the fight begins. It grants resistance to fire, water, and lightning status effects, which are constantly inflicted by the elemental orbs from the tentacles. This minimizes the risk of being slowed or taking damage over time. I also suggest using barrier talismans immediately to significantly boost our ki recovery speed, which is crucial for ki management throughout the fight, and most especially when the area turns into the Dark Realm. Sacred water serves the same purpose as barrier talismans. Since this is a long fight, I suggest having sacred water on your quick slot items just in case you consume your barrier talismans. During the fight, focus on one tentacle at a time. The outer tentacles nearest the edges of the roof are usually the first targets. Rely on your block for the physical sweeping and slamming attacks from the tentacles. Use your high ki recovery from the barrier talisman to quickly recover from the ki damage taken. Do not block the elemental attacks as they will still deal residual damage and can still stagger your ki even with the Dion Jin Sake active. Continuously keep moving slightly and use quick dodges or runs to avoid the slow-moving elemental attacks that come from the other tentacles. Be ready to burst counter the tentacles' special red glow attacks. Successfully landing a burst counter on a tentacle will deal massive ki damage, often immediately draining its ki and forcing it to drop. Once you deplete a tentacle's ki, it will collapse, exposing a glowing eye. Attack this eye quickly to destroy the tentacle. Repeat this process until the boss is ready to transition. After destroying the required number of tentacles, usually 4, the large main head will collapse onto the roof, offering a brief window for direct damage. This is your burst damage opportunity. Rush to the exposed head and unleash our highest damage ki draining combo or yokai ability directly into the glowing eye. Our goal is to chunk its health bar down as much as possible, potentially skipping the later phases. In the Dark Realm phase, the strategy remains essentially the same as the first phase. The arena will be covered in yokai pools, making the barrier talisman even more vital for ki management. The moveset of Lady Osakabe remains the same. However, the elemental attacks from Osakabe are quite frequent, which calls for us to frequently move to avoid these attacks. We still repeat the process, take down the tentacles, then rush the main head for a high damage combo. And our strategy remains the same, that is, to block physical attacks and dodge elemental attacks. This is quite a long fight, so you are going to defeat a good number of tentacles before beating this boss. Every tentacle is actually the same as the other, but with a different element. If you can beat one, you can beat all others. This is also the reason why I'm not showing the whole boss encounter, as it is simply a repetition of fighting a tentacle one after the other. Lady Osakabe is a fight of attrition and management. The key to victory lies in minimizing the threat of her elemental attacks with Daiyojin Sake, while maximizing your ability to sustain your offense through excellent ki regeneration from the Barrier Talisman and Sacred Water. By defensively blocking her physical tentacle attacks, dodging all elemental ones, and expertly capitalizing on the main head's exposed state after each phase, you can systematically dismantle this fortress of a boss. Stay focused on the one targeted tentacle and don't get greedy during the short damage windows. See you in the next video. Ciao!